After 2 years of COVID-19 pandemic in Nigeria, research scientists in AFE BABALOLA University at ABUAD, have discovered a preventive and curative drug for the dreaded respiratory virus disease. They call it ABUAD Virucidine Liquid, named after the university. It's a result of rigorous research that saw Professor of Pharmacology and Therapeutics Olaposi Idowu Omotui and his team of world-class researchers at the Bogoro Center in the Institute for Drug Research and Development screen several herbal plants, extract the medicinal components to produce the medicine. The research framework, from design to screening, testing, and eventually seeking approval, took a great deal of effort.
A lot of effort has gone into this, financial, intellectual, and every other resources that anybody can talk about.
Twice, the testing failed, but the initial setbacks were not enough to deter Omotui and other eggheads in his research team from probing much further until they were able to hit the target.
Initially, it was a bit challenging, but with the expertise that we have in SC Bogoro Center, especially in IDR, the Institute for Drug Development and Drug Research, we were able to screen many plants and we were able to arrive at about 13 plants that we had to screen, and we were able to come down with the particular plant that we used for the project.
It's a groundbreaking achievement, the first of its kind by any university in Africa. It's also a discovery that now puts AFE BABALOLA University high on the global stage, making a bold statement and justifying it as a fact that African scientists, given the right facilities, environment, and opportunities, can compete favorably with their counterparts from different parts of the world and help the continent lower the hefty burden of over-relying on foreign medicine, as well as saving huge foreign exchange in the process. In Nigeria, virucidine is gradually gaining acceptance and the recognition it deserves, having been tested and certified by the Nigerian Institute for Medical Research. The drug has also received blessings from the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, affirming its efficacy on over 1,000 patients, with 44 of them cured in 3 days.
We were able to show that when the remedy at the appropriate dose, which was determined by another method in our lab, was used together with the virus. Of course, I must tell you that we first had to grow the virus because it has to be the live virus. So we then mix the virus and the remedy together and inject in the cells. And we saw that the virus was unable to kill the cells.
The making of the drug is the brainchild of the founder of the university, Are AFE BABALOLA. Concerned about the scourge of the rampaging COVID-19 disease, it was the nonagenarian who challenged scientists in his institution to dig deep into the medicinal value of local herbs in Africa to find cure for the deadly disease.
My people used to live for a long time. Many of Nigerians then lived up to 150 years. And they were not depending on vitamins made by white men. So there was a time I called the scientists from the hospital, from College of Sciences, and so on. I asked them, look, we must make use of our own herbs.
The scientific discovery is pleasing to AFE BABALOLA, despite complaints about an overbearing official bottleneck that delayed approval for the virucidine drug for almost 2 years.
We had problems with our laws and also the bureaucratic system in getting anything. It took us almost 2 years before NAFDAC gave us license to sell this product.
But virucidine is not the only research work that has caught the attention of scientists at AFE BABALOLA University. Professor Omotui and his colleagues have reached advanced stages in producing effective herbal medicine for diabetes and sickle cell anemia. The university relies heavily on its well-cultivated botanical garden for the samples it needs for the drugs and an array of other research works still in progress.
This is our major plantation, and it is here that we get even the component that we use to prepare our herbal virucidine, the Kalanchoe crenata and Bryophyllum pinnatum. They are right down there in our plantation.
From a humble beginning in 2009, with just 3 blocks of buildings and barely 140 students, AFE BABALOLA University has emerged from the surrounding thick forest it used to occupy in Ado-Ekiti into a cosmopolitan citadel of learning with over 8,000 students and 7 colleges. An astute teacher of law and administrator par excellence, Professor Elizabetha Smaranda Olarinde is currently at the helms of affairs as Vice-Chancellor, and on her watch, scientists in AFE BABALOLA accomplished the breakthrough in virucidine.
Here we are in the land of impossibility made possible. In our university, the power never fell. Work is continuous. I want to say it with all pride that, and with all humility, that we have an uninterrupted academic calendar.
You can infer from our track records and activities so far, ranging from the cure, providing cure for COVID-19, down to our records in the law school, amongst other things.
You don't get it elsewhere. It has never happened in ABUAD before. It has never happened in Nigeria, and I'm so grateful to experience another educational system, to make global connections and experience the trends, the new trends and changing systems of education and nursing as a whole.
Just one word to describe it: the best education we can ever get anywhere in the country, and even globally. We're competing globally, actually.
Complementing the research of the university, especially in the search for a cure for COVID-19, is a world-class multi-system university hospital built again single-handedly by AFE BABALOLA. It was here the first set of COVID-19 patients were hospitalized and treated. Dr. Akinola Akimade is the Deputy Chief Medical Director at the hospital. He attests to the efficacy of virucidine liquid, which he said was administered on COVID-19 patients admitted here with remarkable success. The consultant orthopedic and trauma surgeon said the hospital has undertaken some of the most complex procedures in cardiac surgeries in Nigeria, and it has done so depending on its state-of-the-art equipment. According to Dr. Akimade, the hospital has also made great successes in the treatment of kidney diseases and kidney transplants. He, however, acknowledged that the discovery of virucidine liquid for the prevention and cure of COVID-19 by scientists in AFE BABALOLA University is top-notch on the ranks of academic research in the field of medicine.
Oh yeah, so because we possessed these equipment from the onset, it was very easy for us to treat those patients successfully, and we got very good results from our initial surge of patients. Yes, so initially the concern with those types of preparations is safety. So we performed safety tests in collaboration with some well-known bodies, and we got very good results back that these drugs were not toxic to humans.
Yeye Are Modupe AFE BABALOLA is an entrepreneur who has run many successful businesses in Nigeria and overseas. She has provided employment opportunities to many Nigerians. She received the news of the discovery of virucidine with great delight.
It gladdens my heart because I have spent a lot of money for the research. We have the biological grading where we have all those things that were put together, and insisted that he knows that he can make it and he will do it. And that was why he went all out.
From being a poor farm boy with only basic primary 6 education, AFE Babalola, by sheer dint of hard work, resilience, determination, and discipline, now sits atop the pinnacle of a foremost citadel of learning in Africa, whose research into African herbal medicine has raised the hopes of millions of people in the world against the threat of COVID-19, and indeed against any other disease that may strike in the future. What Nigerian federally funded universities find impossible to achieve in decades of their existence has been achieved by AFE Babalola University, which came into existence less than 20 years ago. Omo Bazwai, Arise News.